How do you market your business with video? Welcome to Tea at Taxevity, where you get insights from insiders who make life better, our many clients and friends. My name is Pramod Sharma, and our guest is Allan Madan. Welcome, Allan.
Nice to meet you, Pramod. Thanks for having me today.
Well, thanks for joining us. What do you do when you're not being interviewed?
When I'm not being interviewed, I tend to eat a lot. I'm not sure if you can see those excess pounds on the camera.
No, we just filmed.
Oh, at the top.
And
also, I'm a big movie buff, so I love to watch action movies, thrillers, but I'm a little scared about the horror ones. But my wife enjoys the horror ones a lot.
Wow, okay, that's a very different answer from our typical guests. Yeah. Now, what do you do when you're at work? I'm assuming that's not at work, is it?
No, I wish it was at work.
Okay.
That would be nice. When I'm at work, I do have my game face on, and I'm helping clients solve problems, whether it's dealing with taxes or accounting or general business issues they need to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, but we're not going to talk to you about that directly. We're talking to you about something different.
Yeah.
Because what's very impressive about your operation is that you have created a lot of video. And your video has, in a way, inspired us in doing our own video. So it's quite a treat to have you here. So for the benefit of our audience, we wanted to explore how video is tying into your business.
Great. Well, I started video in February of 2010, so it's over 4 years now, and we primarily use it as a teaching tool to educate clients on various tax topics. I find it's very helpful because clients prefer to see something visual as opposed to reading a textbook. You can understand it that much quicker and better.
Because one of the things I really like is you have a weekly tax tip.
Yes.
And when I first looked at them, I thought they'd be basically infomercials that here's a topic, and if you want to understand anything about it, here's my phone number, call me up and hire me.
Right.
But you give valuable information.
Absolutely.
So how did you decide what content to put into your videos?
A lot of the content comes from frequently asked questions from my clients or something intriguing a client may have approached me about, and that provides me with the inspiration and the material for my videos. You're absolutely right. You need to provide quality content that answers a question and solves a problem. People can quickly read through fluff and can identify an infomercial within seconds and will tune out.
And the quality of what you do is good. I mean, first of all, there's the quality of the writing and the delivery, etc. Now, standards keep improving. Have you evolved your videos over time?
I have, and the first video I did in February of 2010 was with a basic webcam attached to a computer that sat on top of a chair because I didn't have an adjustable height. So that's how we first started off, and then I started to notice that I'm getting views, and gradually we improved from the sound quality to the editing software to the actual lenses and equipment and lights. So it did evolve over the last 4 years.
Okay, so what sort of equipment are you using at the moment?
That's a good question. I'm using softbox lights as well as...
so are we.
Yeah, I can see them. They're quite bright, and we're also using a set of LED lights to illuminate myself and the background. In terms of equipment, we use a sophisticated Sennheiser microphone that provides for wireless audio. And for the camera, we're using a Canon dual-purpose camera as well as video recorder.
Okay, so that sounds similar to what we're doing. We're also using the white boxes and trying to use good quality microphones.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how much cameras and lenses cost, though.
It's very expensive. You're absolutely right. But as you were mentioning to me earlier, you really need to invest in the technology and the equipment to provide something that looks clear and sounds great for your users.
Because I created basically an infomercial maybe a few years ago, and again it was with the webcam, and you just can't do that today if you're in business.
No, technology has evolved a lot, and video has become very sophisticated, so consumers expect a lot more than they used to.
Now, how long does it take you to do a typical video?
Right. Typically, I spend a couple of hours researching the topic and making sure that I'm able to explain it in an easy manner. Then we do now have a video editor, thankfully, who records the video and sets up the equipment and takes the shot, so to speak. So that would take him on average, we try to shoot 3 videos at a time for efficiencies, a couple of hours. So if you were to really break it down, I would say between an hour to 2 hours for each video.
Okay, and that is a fairly big investment in terms of time and effort.
Mm-hmm.
The question that you can probably guess the next question.
Yeah. Why do I do it?
Why do you do it?
Absolutely. The reason is there's obviously an altruistic approach of you want to educate the public and you want to educate your clients about particular tax topics, at least for me, and accounting topics. But it invariably leads to more business and referrals. When someone watches you on the web or reads an article you've written, you now become a trusted advisor to that person, even without having physically met them face to face. So when they pick up that phone and call you, it's now a warm call as opposed to the dreaded cold call. Mm-hmm. And you've developed that rapport right away.
Right, and that seems to be a struggle for people to understand, because I tell people they should blog or do videos, whatever medium they're comfortable with.
Right.
But that question keeps arising. What about the ROI? How do I know that it'll lead to business? Right. And it's hard to prove that it will, but you're finding that it does.
It does, because when I pick up the phone and someone says, Alan, I saw one of your videos, I really liked it, and I'm really impressed. It gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling, but it also does lead to a closed sale. YouTube, which is the platform that I use, and I believe most people use to market their videos, provides analytical tools that will tell you how many people have watched a particular video, what time they watched it, how did they view it, and the length of time they spent on that particular video. So you are able to get hard evidence and statistics to back up how successful your videos are or aren't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to have that information. Now, what is your measure of success?
My measure of success is being able to produce quality content that will eventually educate someone on a topic and hopefully, not always, but hopefully lead to further business. And I don't necessarily quantify it using exact science, but anecdotally I can tell you that most of my business is coming from YouTube and the internet.
Oh, really? So you mean people are doing a search and then they're contacting you?
Absolutely. So they're making a Google query trying to find an answer for a particular topic, and my video shows up in the Google search results. Google, with its Hummingbird algorithm, looks favorably upon video, and so videos tend to show up in the top of the search queries.
Okay, it's interesting you say that, because I forgot about how I discovered you.
Yes.
I was doing a search for something and I saw one of your videos, and then I watched a few other videos and I thought, wow, this is pretty impressive. And then I sent you an invitation to connect on LinkedIn.
Right, you did. Yes. Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that. So it just goes to show you from this example between you and I that videos not only populate within YouTube, they populate within the major search engines like Google, Yahoo, and Bing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I guess I'd forgotten how it had even worked on me.
Right.
Now, you've got over 1,000 subscribers on your channel.
Right.
And well, our channel is a little newer, and like we're happy to get like 10 and 20, and now we're about 30. So it's not a huge number, but how did you manage to get such a high number of subscribers?
It was never planned for. So, we're fortunate to have over 200,000 views now and about 1,100 subscribers. And really that took time. I really believe that persistence, putting your 110% effort into the videos you create will naturally drive viewers to watch your video, refer them to their friends, and share them. So it's organically as opposed to advertising it through paid mediums.
Okay. You're doing your tax tips on a weekly basis.
Correct.
Are there other kinds of videos that you're doing too?
We do. We try to spice it up with some fun videos
so you
that are
spice things up for an accounting firm.
I know. It sounds like an oxymoron, but a bit ironic, but we try to spice it up. So we do have some fun tax man videos where we're basically showing an antagonist who is the tax man and a client who needs someone's help. So we want to add humor to it, and it's important in business to be serious and get the job accomplished. But I think users also want to relate to you as a person, as an individual, and these videos help me to bring out some humor and show that we're also fun people like you.
Right, because if I only saw the fun videos, I wouldn't necessarily think that much of the company.
Right.
But you've got the rock solid content also, and that is a good blend. My favorite one that I've seen so far in the series is where the ice cream.
Yes, the ice cream shop. Poor guy. So the taxman took away his ice cream and he couldn't eat it. And we were basically trying to describe that, if you are in a CRA audit, you want to keep onto your money, and we can certainly help.
Right. So an actual ice cream cone was harmed in that shot.
It was, yeah. No animals were harmed or people, but the ice cream cone did lose out to the ground there.
I'm just thinking that if I were there, I'd probably have some bucket there and then catch the ice
salvage
cream.
The ice cream. I think they went through a few ice creams to get the shot right, or they ate some and didn't tell me. But nonetheless, it was a fun exercise.
Yeah, it's nice to have that blend.
Absolutely.
If you were starting video today, what would you do differently? Or what would you suggest to people starting today?
Great. It's a much more competitive landscape in video marketing than it was 4 or 5 years ago, because videos have evolved and become very sophisticated. So I would take the time to invest in proper equipment. Now, you may not have a very large budget, but you should still try to invest in a good quality microphone and a good quality camera. Make sure your lighting is appropriate. So number one is equipment. Number two is to make sure that your videos are addressing a key issue for your clients or customers, something that keeps them up at night. And if you're doing that, you'll naturally increase the number of viewers and subscribers that you get.
Okay, now you deal with fairly specialized topics related to tax.
Correct.
Do you have people who watch your videos week after week just waiting for the next tax tip? Or how do they come across your videos?
I would like to think everyone does that, but I think they have lives and they want to do other fun stuff. But we do have subscribers who do watch on a weekly basis, and I think it's important to be consistent. While not every video is meant for everyone, over the course of a month, I'm hoping at least one of those videos will touch home and be relevant to a particular user.
Okay, now when someone finds your videos on YouTube, they're doing a search for a particular topic, do they tend to just watch that one video, or do you get a sense that they're watching other ones to get a better sense of who you are?
Well, no, and that's a good question. We actually measure behavior flow. So we're able to see where on our website they entered from, and then what path did they follow. And what we've noticed that where a video is well produced and is meaningful, they're spending 3 or 4 or 5 minutes on that particular video and reading the related content. And B, they're navigating to the Contact Us page. So they're looking up our information to see who we are and how they can get a hold of us. So to answer your question, there is a progression, and within some sophisticated tools like Google Analytics, you're able to see your users' behavior on your website and with respect to your videos.
Okay, so you can tell that it is working.
Absolutely. I can see the progression from entering to a particular video dealing with a specific subject, to them checking out About Me, to them hitting the contact page.
Okay, now doing video is a commitment in terms of time and resources. How do you encourage someone to take that step?
Absolutely. I think in this day and age, it's something that's an absolute necessity. So you shouldn't be looking at it as a luxury, but something that you should be doing as part of your general marketing. If you're consistent about it, whether you do this on the weekend or during regular business hours, you should do it on a regular basis. And I would encourage you to do it at least once a week because that's what users demand nowadays. They're hungry for content.
Okay. Talking to a camera is something that is not that easy to do.
Right.
Did you have any fears in the beginning? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Right. Well, first of all, I still think there's a lot of improvement that I can undertake myself. But it may sound cheesy, but practicing in front of a mirror so you can see how you actually look, or recording a trial session and then playing back the video for yourself. One user told me that I moved my hands incessantly or a little too much, and I didn't realize I did that. But after listening to comments and watching myself back, I realized I need to calm down certain hand movements so that I'm not distracting to my viewers.
Okay, because I found the same thing, that it's a little difficult to look at oneself. At least with this interview, we're looking at each other rather than looking at the cameras, so that helps.
It does.
But you notice things about yourself that you didn't realize, because I'd been told by my family, and who's going to listen to them, that I move around too much when I'm talking. And so my struggle is, how do I stay still? Because it is better to do that, and I like to think I'm not getting that feedback so much from my family now, so I'd like to think that that's improving.
Absolutely.
But there's no way I could have known that there was a challenge without having seen myself, because like I just
Sure.
didn't expect that I would be moving that way.
Well, I think you also raised a good point. It's important to get feedback from your friends and your family, because they'll be critical of you, but give you constructive criticism.
Hmm. Can you predict which videos will be the most popular?
Honestly, I wish I knew that formula, and sometimes it's difficult to know which particular topic will hit home. But what I do find as a general trend is how-to videos seem to be more successful. One of the most popular videos that I have on YouTube, which has close to 40,000 views now, is about how to prepare a corporate tax return. And in this video, I take them through a real-life demonstration on preparing their company's corporate tax return.
Okay.
So how-to videos seem successful.
Okay, I'll ask you a little more about how to in a moment, but I've got to ask you this question first. You do corporate tax returns,
I
right?
do, yes.
Why would you have a video telling
Yes.
other people how to do their own corporate tax returns?
Why is the magician giving his secrets away?
Yes.
Just because someone watches it and understands conceptually how to do it, they won't necessarily take the time to do it themselves. They would rather hire an expert that they trust, that they know could do a better job than them. There will be individuals, you're right, that will still do it themselves because maybe they feel more comfortable being hands-on, or it might be because of budget constraints. For the most part, however, I find that individuals refer to a trusted accountant who can do the work for them.
Because I find the same thing, that when you explain how to do something, you're bringing transparency.
Yes.
And then people understand
What
the
you're doing.
process, but they also realize that it's complicated and there are a lot of things that could go wrong.
Absolutely.
And that maybe they should go to a professional, but now they know that this company has a process they can understand, why not hire them?
Absolutely right, and that's my frame of thought exactly.
Okay, when you're doing a how-to video, because I think your tax tips are a minute or two long.
Right.
For a how-to video, do you have a target length in mind there?
Well, I don't have a target length, but they are more in depth. They can range from 5 to 8 minutes long, and I know that can seem like a long time, but what we try to do is add annotations within the video to break them up into chapters. That makes it easier for the user to navigate in a long video. The reason how-to videos are longer is because it takes a while to demonstrate something, especially if your hope is they'll be able to do it themselves at the end of the video.
But say for that particular video,
right,
was your hope that they would be able to do it themselves?
Well, I guess I'm cheating a bit. My hope was they'd say, oh man, this is too tough. I'm going to hire Mr. Taxman here to help me out. So there's a bit of bias there, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, that
sure, yeah.
We are in business to do certain things.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, the way I look at it is, if someone was not going to, okay, how do I say this? The way I look at it is that some people would not hire you anyway.
Correct.
And you're not losing anything by showing them how to do their own tax returns.
Absolutely right. I think I'm getting a lot more because it's giving me exposure. If you compare the cost of a YouTube video, which we were discussing, it may be $100 to $300. Whereas if you compare that to a television commercial, it could be in the tens of thousands of dollars. So there's a significant price differential.
And 40,000 views is quite impressive for one video.
For one video, I'm very pleased about that. I wish I had more like that, but yeah, I'm pleased about that one.
Okay, we've covered a lot of tips on how to do video for business purposes. Is there something else that you would like to add that we haven't covered?
Social media marketing, I think it's becoming very important, especially in an interconnected world. So you should sign up to all of the social media platforms. And I think we did connect on LinkedIn, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or Google+. You should regularly be sharing and connecting with people in your business sector or different industries that you think would be of benefit to you and of benefit to them.
And with a focus on educating people rather than pitching them.
Correct. Everyone can read through a quick used car salesman, and no one's interested in that. If you share your knowledge and genuinely try to help someone else, it's real. Karma works. It will come back to you tenfold in a positive way.
What's the best way for people to reach you?
I appreciate that. The best way is to reach me on my website, madanca.com. That's MADANCA.com. All of my contact details are there, my telephone number and email, and I'd be pleased to speak with anyone who has a question.
Okay, thanks for visiting us, Allan.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us for Tea at Taxevity. The Taxevity Insurance Advisory helps you understand insurance and bridges gaps in your coverage. There's no premium for peace of mind. How healthy is your insurance?